Hi guys, and welcome back to Movies That Matter with the Viking. And today, let's discuss all the latest Snyder Cut news and stuff that's been going on throughout the Snyder Cut community. I suppose a big one this week was some clickbait by IndieWire, who said that the director of The Invisible Man said that the Snyder Cut is a bad idea, a terrible idea, and shouldn't be released. That was the headline, and it caused a bit of controversy on Twitter, and people were upset, of course. I suppose some people seen it and are probably getting ready to attack the Invisible Man director, but as everything online, you have to read into it, you have to click into it and see what the real story is. But then when you click into it, you find out that the headline was clickbait. It wasn't exactly what the director had said. The director said that his biggest fear is having a film out there for the world to see that's not exactly his, a film that is a different cut of his film. That's his biggest nightmare. He doesn't want anything like that to ever happen to him, because you see a film, he used the example of Alien, saying, oh look, this is the newer version that everyone should see. This is the real intended version that the director wanted to release when the film came out, but we didn't years ago. It was a different film. And like, that just takes away from artistic integrity. It takes away from a director making the films they want to make, and it puts a bad taste in people's mouths. I'm sure it puts a bad taste in the director's mouth as well. We all want to see the film that the director intended, whether it's good, whether it's bad. They were hired to do a job, make a film, and then that film was changed, and a different film was put out there, and now the director has to pretend that it's their intended vision. Bit like David Ayer. If Zack Snyder never opened his mouth about the Snyder Cut, he'd have to say that Justice League that we've seen in theaters was his film. But I'm glad that these directors say it's not their film. You look at Ridley Scott has about 42 different cuts of Blade Runner, and he said the one that came out a few years ago is the real cut. So it just shows you. But the director didn't say anything wrong towards the Snyder Cut. He's actually a Snyder Cut supporter, because Sean O'Connell, a good Snyder Cut supporter, put the claims to bed. He said that interview was done with them on Real Blend, or it's one of their podcasts that Cinema Blend do, and he gave the direct quote and said, look, it's false. The director is fully behind the Snyder Cut. He just doesn't believe that there should be multiple cuts of a director's vision. There should be the one vision that the director wants to tell, and not different cuts. That takes away from that. But the Snyder Cut community, even people who aren't big Snyder Cut fans, wrote in the comments of the IndieWire Twitter post under the article and said, look, this is false. This is not what your article says. The headline is different from what's actually in the article. And people did it in a respectful way and said, look, it's wrong and it's terrible. I, for one, I said, did you even read what you typed? Like, in the future, I won't be looking at any IndieWire articles or posts. I unfollow them straight away, because what's the point of me giving up my free time reading stuff that they publish, that they put out there, that's supposed to be news about movies? I'm a big movie fan, as people are here, and they want to read the real thing and get the real news straight away, not this clickbait bullshit that it's just lies. It's lying to people. It's not good. So I won't be reading anything more that they have to say about films, TV, or anything. That's me completely done with them, and have themselves to blame. They were completely called out. They made a show of themselves. You have different YouTube channels talking about it now. High-profile people on Twitter calling them out, telling them, look, this is wrong. And then the masses of the Snyder Cut movement doing the same. So fair play to people for seeing the clickbait and telling them that exactly where they were wrong, and hopefully they won't do it again in the future. But there was plenty of other articles that come out that put everything right, and they gave the proper headline and the proper piece of information from the director. So fair play to them. Just a quick note on The Invisible Man. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it because I've heard great buzz around it. I wasn't too intrigued by the trailers, but I'm looking forward to it as such, and now I'm looking forward to it more because we know the director supports the release of the Snyder Cut, and we all want to see that. And also, what happened as well with Patty Jenkins, she was asked about about the Snyder Cut, about Justice League, and she said that Justice League is a very controversial film. We're not going to talk about that today. I'm sure she's tired of getting questions about the Snyder Cut, about the Justice League, while she's trying to promote her own film Wonder Woman 84, which comes out in June. Look, I'm sure she fully supports Zack Snyder. Zack is a part of his production company, is a part of Wonder Woman 84. They seem to be good friends. They've worked with each other before. Zack had a cameo in Wonder Woman. People are making this little bullshit narrative that the two of them hate each other, and Patty Jenkins doesn't want nothing to do with Zack Snyder's vision of what the DCU is supposed to be. I just think it's all bullshit created by fans, created by bloggers and YouTubers to try and get a rift going and to try and get the two of them going up against each other and just creating bullshit narratives that don't exist. She's a director that works for Warner Brothers. She's not going to come out and say, oh yeah, Warner Brothers did something bad and they should release the Snyder Cut for all, She's not going to do that because they pay her. I'm sure she'd love to speak her mind, Even Jason Momoa said it before. You can't say things that you want to say all the time. Aquaman hits $1 billion and he was a lot more vocal. You know what I mean? Because he had the power to speak and to speak his mind. If Wonder Woman 84 comes out and it makes $1 billion or over $1 billion and it's a big success, then Patty Jenkins in terms is untouchable by Warner Brothers because she's made so much money. She's getting asked a lot of these questions the whole time about it. I'm sure it's annoying because she's trying to promote her own film that she made herself, and she hopes there's a lot of pressure. She hopes it's a success. She hopes it makes money. She hopes it's as good as the first one or even better. These are all pressures that we have to realize. She's trying to do her job. She gets paid by Warner Brothers. She's not being paid to talk about a film that came out 3 years ago and a film that fans are fighting for now. Gal was asked before a few months ago, and she gave a very respectful answer. And of course, she tweeted on the 17th, #release the Snyder Cut. So these people want to speak their mind. They can't do it openly and in person like they want, Ben Affleck tweeted it as well. But when Patty Jenkins was asked, she said it's a very controversial film. She didn't say anything wrong. She didn't say anything bad. She didn't say anything. People are saying she's not supporting the cut. She said it's a very controversial film, which it is, and she can't really talk about it. It's up to us fans to keep the discussion going. And it's not a film that she wanted to talk about today because she's there to promote Wonder Woman 84. And that's completely understandable, and we should not have any grudges towards Patty whatsoever. Zack is involved with Wonder Woman 84. His production company is at the bottom of the poster, just going, look, it's there. Things aren't as bad as people make them out to be. And also Ben Affleck promoting this film The Way Back, which the trailers have looked brilliant. I'm really looking forward to that. It's a very close to home story. Of course, we all know his personal life and stuff. It's not up to me to talk about that. But it's a close to home story for him, and I'm sure he acts his ass off in the film because it's very relatable to his real life. He also said there is things in the film that's not relatable to his real life. There's different things. The characters, him himself and the character are kind of linked together due to his personal problems. But there's things that the character has personal problems about as well that's not linked to Ben. So Ben said it's not completely about his life. It's a completely different story. But I know I'm really looking forward to it. The trailers look good. It's coming out now next week. So excited for that. But he's doing his press tour and his interviews and stuff at the minute. And of course people are saying that, oh, we love you as Batman. And will we ever get to see his Batman again? Or are you looking forward to Robert Pattinson's Batman? And he was asked about Robert. And well, he said that Robert's a great actor and he's going to do well. And he's going to go see the film when it comes out. And he's looking forward to it. He has faith in all the people involved there. He was also asked why he left the Batman. He said he had a script, but he fell out of love with the journey of telling those stories, and that he wanted to tell more stories like the one he's doing right now, which is understandable too. A lot of pressure at that time in Warner Brothers. The management wasn't the best to work with. Of course, he wasn't allowed to do what he wanted to do, as a director and make the Batman film that he wanted to make, and this caused pressure and stuff in his personal life. It all led to one big blowout, and him ended up leaving the role. And then he was asked there yesterday, is there any chance we'll ever see you come back as the Batman? And he said probably not, because he wants to tell these kind of stories, but maybe. But I think the only way we ever get to see Ben come back as Batman is in the film that's already made, which is the Snyder Cut. That's the film that's made. It's locked. He shot all the scenes there, and that's his last intended outing. Not intended, but that's his last outing as the Batman. And of course, he wants that released. We want it released. We want to see that. The only way I see Ben coming back as Batman, if the management of Warner Brothers admitted all their wrongdoings to directors and actors and characters and to fans, and rehired Zack after Justice League was released for Justice League 2, Justice League 3. I'm sure that's the only way Ben would come back, is if Zack Snyder asked him, and the whole management and the way the process, the way things were done was done differently. It's the only way I see him coming back. I'm sure Zack, if he got the chance to shoot Justice League again 2 and 3, he'd do that back to backs, be all one big shoot, and he could tell the story that he wanted to tell from the start. That's the only way I see Ben coming back. I don't see any of that happening whatsoever. I do see the Snyder Cut being released. I do see Zack working with Warner Brothers again in some form with a comic book movie, maybe like Todd Phillips did. But I think Ben Affleck coming back as being our Batman for 2, 3, 4 films, those days are gone, unfortunately. But the only thing that we can hope for is to see the film that it's already done, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And Ben Affleck himself said that film should be available to the fan base. It should be available. He said he never really was on board of the idea of 2 directors working on a film. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and he doesn't think it worked for Justice League, the film that came out in cinemas. So he said it should be available. So Ben has been he's been a great friend towards Zack. He's supported him in everything. Of course, in the 17th, and now in these interviews, he's saying that the Snyder Cut should be released. He said that Zack got in contact with him, saying that the fans are doing something for the Snyder Cut. Would you mind tweeting hashtag release the Snyder Cut? And he did. He said, basically, Ben said he'd do anything for Zack. They worked together for years. They've got a great partnership. They're good friends. They have a huge amount of respect for each other, and they were both effed over by Warner Brothers in the making of their films. And the way Warner Brothers said, yeah, this is what that's your plan, go do it. And Warner Brothers were interfering and stuff. Toby Emmerich, Jeff Johns, all these guys, they all put their noses in where they probably shouldn't have. I know they give the money and they greenlit things to be done, but when you hire a director, when you hire an actor, let them direct, let them act. That's the thing that I never understand it's the thing I never understand, especially with Disney as well and their Star Wars films. They've had so many directors leave films, of course, Han Solo, and then Rian Johnson doesn't seem to be doing his trilogy. Like, you sit down with a director, you say, right, that's your vision, we're completely on board, that's what we want to do, that's the story, that's the way we want to tell it. Right, we're on the same page, grand, let's go shoot the film. But then it's like they don't even have meetings. They don't even have discussions about what the film or what the trilogy is going to be. And then if anything controversial happens at all, if it's reviews, if it's box office, that vision completely goes out the board and they end up effing over people. So it's not good. It's not good at all. But Ben continues to support. He keeps getting asked Batman questions too, and you can see he's kind of tired of it. He just said he fell out in love with the role. Because he wants to promote his new film, The Way Back, which we'll all go support. Oh, that's another thing. There's an event coming up. I think some people are doing events for getting The Way Back to trend on Twitter. The week leading up to, somebody doing it for the week leading up to Ben's film. Maybe it's today. And there's also another one going on the day before the film is released to try and get The Way Back trending and show our thank you as a community towards Ben Affleck supporting the Snyder Cut and having that on Twitter the day before, of the release. So that should be good. Keep an eye out for that on Twitter. And also, last night, Zack revealed who the winners were of his Zack Snyder's Justice League poster contest. And he didn't pick a winner yet. We're all eagerly waiting for Zack to post on Vero last night to see who the winner was. And you never know, it might be some sort of an announcement or something like that. But we were all excited and we were refreshing our Twitter pages, our Vero pages, and we were all getting a bit not angry, but just getting a bit hesitant and wanting to see who the winners were and what Zack was going to post. But he didn't pick a winner yet. He posted 4 posters that he thought were best. But he said he was overwhelmed by the amount of posters that were sent in and the quality of posters and stuff like that. But he picked 4. I don't have the names right now who made them, but whoever did make them, congratulations. Absolutely a great privilege for Zach to pick you as one of the winners. But well done to everyone who contributed, who put in a poster, because Zach seen every single one of the posters. I made a few posters. They weren't nothing to write home about, but I'm just glad that Zach got to look at something that I made and had an opinion about it in his own head, So that's pretty cool that way, that Zach seen what we made, even though if he didn't win. That's pretty cool. No, well done to the people who were involved in the running of that contest for Zach, and everyone who entered. It's brilliant. Zach said that today, he might do it now while the video is going up, but today he said he'd post what the prize was going to be, and then tomorrow, the 1st of March, which is his birthday, he's going to post the winner. So some interesting stuff. So a whole weekend of Zach posting stuff and interacting with the fans. And this is Zach's way of giving back to the fan base who have been so loyal to him over the last 2-3 years now, or even more. Batman vs Superman days, Man of Steel days, Watchmen days. Throughout his whole career, you've supported Zack Snyder. This is his thank you to the fan base and giving back. And he always interacts and he's always respectful. And he's one of the good guys in Hollywood. No matter what people say, nobody's ever had to say a bad word about him. People in comments and stuff like to cause things and make up false narratives to suit themselves. But looking forward to what the prize is going to be. I'm sure it's not going to be a simple prize. It's not going to be a knockoff. It's going to be something really, really cool. So whoever ends up winning it, that's going to be something to cherish the rest of your life, and it'll be very interesting to see what it is. But no, basically that's all the Snyder Cut news that's gone on the last week. Sorry I haven't been posting that much, just kind of busy with other things, but I will be posting more often now. And if Zach posted the prize today, I'll do a video on that, and I'll also do a full video on who won the poster event and have a look at the poster. And yeah, hopefully we get to engage with Zach more now over the next coming weeks, because we have his birthday, and then let's show support for Ben Affleck's The Way Back. And then before we know it, Wonder Woman will be here, so that'll be something to look forward to. And you never know what's going to happen in between that. HBO Max will be launching soon as well in May, so there's some exciting things coming up, some interesting events and campaigns run by different groups of people. So that's interesting. And of course, if anybody can make an event up, anyone can decide, have an idea. People have been doing it more often in the last few months, coming up with ideas themselves of running little small events. It's not always about trending, it's about just educating new people the whole time. There was a girl who is watching films that she's never seen before. I can't remember the name right now, but she's watched BVS and she watched Justice League, and I don't think she liked Justice League that much, but people in the comments and on her social media were letting her know exactly what happened with the situation of Justice League. I commented myself under her video, and then she wrote a comment saying that, now she realizes what they did to Zack Snyder. It's a terrible thing what they did, and thank you to everyone who got in contact and told her exactly what went on. So there you go, educating new people. You don't always have to trend to get a discussion going. You don't always have to trend to get people interested in the Snyder Cut or educating people. So just remember that every little helps. You don't have to be a part of some big huge group. You don't have to have a big huge Twitter following, Facebook following, Instagram following, YouTube following. You don't have to have anything big. All you have to have is an account on something, a voice, an opinion, and respectfully and positively engage with people about the Snyder Cut and spread awareness. That's the best thing we can do as a fan base. Positivity always wins. There's no point being negative towards people. Of course, telling people they're wrong is the right thing to do in a respectful manner, and to give your views. You know what's right. You know what the best thing and the way to do things is. And that's how we get the Snyder Cut. But that's everything I got to say today. Catch you next time, guys, and enjoy.